Everyone thought he was such a nice guy. It drove me crazy. If they only knew. But here's the thing. I thought he was a nice guy too. Back then, I was so drawn to his charm, his politeness, and how pleasant he was with everyone around him. He made everything fun. I felt safe. He was nice. Until he wasn't. The public persona was in stark contrast to the private one that, for some reason, only I was privy to. And I remember venting to a friend at the time, but she said something to me that I'll never forget. She said, "He is nice." And I visibly got very disturbed and started thinking, oh no, not you too. But she went on to say, but nice by definition means pleasant and agreeable. He is a nice guy. But here's what I didn't understand at the time. Nice doesn't mean good. It doesn't mean godly, loyal, committed. It doesn't mean faithful or strong. Nice doesn't mean any of the things that make up a healthy or whole relationship. It just means nice. And nice people can hide a lot behind those smiles, just like him. You see, he was like an oasis in the desert, or so I thought. He seemed refreshing and comforting, like someone I could rely on, but as I drew closer, I realized the water was shallow, the shade was fleeting, and everything he offered was designed to keep me hooked, chasing relief that never came. Everyone else thought he was so amazing, so much fun, so laid back, so likable, but the version of him I knew, it was nothing like what he showed the rest of the world. And here's the kicker. Nice also doesn't stir up trouble. It doesn't challenge other people. It doesn't hold them accountable, which makes for perfect, shallow, superficial relationships. But if you're looking for someone who is honest and accountable, nice won't cut it. And that's why I say now, he was a nice guy. But nice doesn't mean good. And it certainly doesn't mean godly. Well, hey, my friend, welcome back to another edition of the Difficult Relationships podcast, where it is my heart to help you navigate difficult relationships and conquer codependency biblically. I also want to invite you to go ahead and grab a copy of our free Narcissist Survival Guide. I'll go ahead and include a link in the description box below. And while you're down there, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. So this brings me to now the nice narcissist. The one who's so agreeable, so charming, so consistently kind that it feels almost impossible to imagine that they'd have such toxic traits. And it doesn't matter if it's a dating relationship like mine was, a parent, a partner, a pastor, coworker, sibling, friend, or child. Sometimes nice isn't all that it's cracked up to be. But here's the truth. Just like that beautiful mirage in the desert, what looks like refreshment at first glance can actually leave you thirsty and disillusioned. So have you ever felt like someone's kindness left you feeling more confused rather than comforted? Like they were offering a hand not to help, but to subtly keep you tethered to them? Well, that's the signature move of the nice narcissist, and it's one of their most deceptive tactics. So the first sign of a nice narcissist is their selective helpfulness. You see, they're not generous out of genuine care. Instead, their acts of kindness are carefully calculated, like a mirage in the desert. Their help looks refreshing and sincere from a distance, but as you draw closer, you realize it's an illusion. Their support is shallow, conditional, and always tied to their own need for validation. Here's the difference. When someone truly helps you, you feel stronger, more secure, and refreshed, like a true oasis. But with the nice narcissist, you're left feeling indebted, unsure, and emotionally parched. They offer just enough support to keep you reliant on them, ensuring that you're always reaching for that relief that never truly satisfies. Because the truth is, they only care about feeling good about themselves. And don't be fooled into thinking that this is easy to spot. Unlike overt or even covert narcissists who show their cards over time, the nice narcissist plays the long game. Their selective kindness is so subtle and consistent that it can take months, even years, to see it for what it really is. Manipulation wrapped in charm. And what makes this even harder to identify is how selective they are about where, when, and to whom they show this nice side. You see, in public, they're often the picture of kindness, agreeable, polite, and seemingly generous. But when behind closed doors, or when things don't go their way, a completely different side comes out. And this isn't the occasional off day that we all have. I'm referring to patterns. And around certain people or in certain situations, they carefully maintain their nice persona. But to those closest to them, those who see them when the mask slips, those are the ones that are often left to deal with their hidden anger, their passive aggressiveness, or just their outright neglect. It is a self-serving kind of nice. They're nice when it makes them look good, when it feeds their ego, or when it ensures your loyalty or your need for them. And their kindness isn't a gift. It's a tool, and you're the one paying the price. So how do they keep this charade going for so long? Well, it's not just about selective helpfulness. The next layer of their deception is perhaps their most convincing trick, one that makes you feel seen, understood, and cared for. But like that mirage, it vanishes the moment you try to rely on it. So the second hallmark of a nice narcissist is what we call performative empathy. It's their ability to make you believe that they care deeply. But beneath that surface, it's all for show. They're masters at mimicking empathy without actually feeling it. You see, while true empathy flows from a genuine concern for others, the nice narcissist learns empathy, kind of like the way an actor learns their lines. And they may have been told that they lack compassion, so they've perfected the script, knowing what to say, how to tilt their head, or when to offer a comforting word. But their care is only skin deep, and it's only self-serving. And in those rare moments when the nice narcissist has everything going their way, they're well rested, validated, well fed, and feel in control of everything, they actually might show glimpses of what looks like true empathy. And you think, finally, they see me. They finally care. But here's the problem. It's fleeting. The consistency just isn't there. Because over time, you'll notice moments when their supposed empathy disappears entirely, leaving you feeling dismissed, even invalidated. And this inconsistency is what makes it so hard to walk away. Like a carrot dangled in front of you, those brief, seemingly genuine moments of empathy keep you holding on, hoping that they'll come back. You see, it's a cycle that can create a trauma bond, chaining you to the possibility of who they could be rather than who they really are. And here's the twist. Many nice narcissists don't even realize they're doing this. They genuinely believe that they are loving, caring, kind people. But true care isn't about what you say. It's about how you show up consistently, sacrificially, and without strings. But their tactics don't stop at performative empathy. The next trait is even trickier to identify because it looks so much like genuine encouragement. And you've seen their selective helpfulness and their performative empathy, but there's that other tactic that they use to keep you hooked. This one is even more subtle because it feels like that genuine encouragement. But when you pull back the curtain, you see this for what it really is: manipulation disguised as support. So the next trait of the nice narcissist is what I call strategic support. You see, on the surface, it feels like they're cheering you on, rooting for your success, and celebrating your wins. But in reality, their support is calculated and conditional, and it's only given when it serves their agenda. And at first, it's easy to believe that they're genuinely invested in your growth. They might say all the right things. You're so amazing. You can do this. I'm so proud of you. And at times, they may even step in to help you achieve your goals. But here's the catch. Their support comes with strings. If your success reflects well on them, they'll encourage you. If it makes you more dependent on them, they'll cheer you on. But the moment your growth threatens their control, their enthusiasm will fade, or worse, turn into subtle sabotage. And this kind of support is incredibly disorienting because it feels good in the moment, and you think, yeah, these people are here for me, they get me, they love me, they believe in me, but over time, you start to notice a pattern. They only offer help when it reinforces their image as the nice and supportive person, or when it keeps you tethered to them. And if you dare outgrow them, that's when you'll see the passive-aggressive comments start. Don't forget who helped you get there. Oh, must be nice to have time for that while I'm over here doing everything else. It's a cycle that leaves you questioning yourself, wondering if you really are ungrateful or if you've done something wrong. But the truth is, their support was never about you. It was always about them. Strategic support is so effective because it taps into your natural desire for affirmation, validation, and encouragement. And it feels like they're building you up, but in reality, they're just keeping you in their orbit. And because their support is inconsistent, you find yourself working harder and harder to earn their approval, not even realizing that you're playing right into their hands. And because they can't be honest and direct with you, well, that wouldn't be nice. They'll now hit you with indirect, passive-aggressive comments disguised as care. But perhaps the most dangerous trait of all is their ability to create a false sense of connection, one that leaves you questioning your reality and doubting your own worth. So the next tactic is the ultimate weapon in their arsenal, and here's why. Because by now, you've seen the nice narcissist. You've seen the carefully crafted persona, selectively helpful, performatively empathetic, and strategically supportive, but their most insidious tactic is the hardest to detect. And it's that illusion of a deep connection. You think you found someone who truly sees you, but beneath that surface, there's nothing. Nothing but a shallow, superficial connection. And it feels like they're completely invested in you. They ask thoughtful questions, remember small details, and give just enough emotional energy to make you believe that you found someone who truly cares. But over time, you start to notice that their connection never goes beyond surface level. And it's easy to mistake their initial charm and attentiveness for genuine intimacy. They'll listen when it serves them, mirror your emotions to build rapport, and even share just enough about themselves to make it seem reciprocal. But here's the catch. Their connection is always transactional. It's never transformational. And you may find yourself pouring your heart out, feeling like you finally found someone who understands you, only to realize that they've never really opened up in the same way. And when you try to dig deeper, they deflect, withdraw, change the subject, leaving you feeling unheard and unseen. This tactic is incredibly powerful because it plays on your natural desire for connection, and it keeps you chasing this level of intimacy that they're just completely incapable of providing. But you don't realize that until you're fully invested. And because they're so nice, you second guess yourself, thinking, maybe I'm expecting too much. Maybe this is just how relationships are. Maybe it's me. After all, everyone else thinks they're so nice. Shallow connection keeps you in a constant state of longing. And you remember those fleeting moments when they seemed fully engaged, and you wonder, why can't it always be like that? Or maybe you make excuses for them. Maybe you start to believe that if you just try harder, if you just meet their needs, they'll finally open up and give you the connection that you crave. But the truth is, they never will, because they can't. And when you put together selective helpfulness, performative empathy, strategic support, and shallow connection, you can see how the nice narcissist weaves this intricate web of deception. And no, they don't even realize they're doing it. But here's the good news. Once you recognize those patterns, you can break free. You can stop chasing the mirage and start building relationships that are truly life-giving. But just in case you want to know the 5 clues to spot a Christian narcissist, I want to encourage you to check out this episode here. And don't forget to grab a copy of your free Narcissist Survival Guide. I'll go ahead and include a link in the description section below.